ability to try and out-position them whenever they're going. So
Right.
I think the Windwalker would be smarter than the Feral Druid.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen both matchups. Both seem rough for the Cleve team to face that. So we're going to find out here very, very shortly what these teams are going to be playing. Make sure to go ahead and follow all of these players on Twitter, guys, so you are notified of what it is that they're doing. These guys stream all the time, and they provide some super awesome high-end gameplay. And if you guys want to see their point of view as well, follow them up, man. Check them out. They're super cool. We did get a $5 donation from Valir. Valir says, greetings from Norway. Keep up the good work. Thank you so much, Valir, and I appreciate you tuning in. It might not be the best time or the most convenient time for you to tune in all the way from Norway, but I really do appreciate your support, man, and the 5 bones. Thank you, dude. And as soon as these teams are ready, we're going to be jumping right back into the games. And, of course, the first map of the Best of 5 series is, again, the Grand Arena. Welcome everyone to the Grand Arena. It's Tempo Storm versus Donut, and you got your wish, man. You got the Windwalker DK.
Do their names show up the same on your screen as mine?
Yes, I did not
I see
realize.
Raisin Spud Poutine.
I don't see Spud because I changed Spud to Balance, and I didn't know that they were doing this, so I actually don't see Spud. I just see Poutine, Balance, and Raisin. But they're going against Tempo Storms, Shadow Priest, Holy Paladin, and Frostmage. You called it, man. You know the matchup well. Can the Windwalker DK do it? I mean, we've seen in the past, or not Tempo Storm specifically, but Venriki actually did beat a Windwalker, or with Windwalker DK Holy Paladin, beat God Comp. Can they do it again? Fear goes out onto Raisin. Looks like Poutine actually is going to be the kill target. Poutine, of course, being the one and only Jeff. Whoa, they're swapping it over onto Raisin into the Hodge. That's DR. Save of the Light's going to proc. Raisin holding onto his trinket for now. Wings coming out. He did not get the execution sentence out of it. He gets the execution sentence, but he's still in so much trouble. He's trying to juke Jamili's counter spell for now. He gets the fast cast off and healing himself through it. Jamili actually stealing the execution sentence now, putting him in the full poly, now swapping the pressure over out on the bounce in the middle of the map. Horrify on the Balance. Elite just healing him through all of this pressure. Balance just going to pull back and port for now and stabilize with his Holy Paladin.
It's interesting. Donut's actually playing Horde, so Balance has the Orc racial to reduce some incoming stuns, and they've got 2 Blood Elves for the extra silences as well. We see it paralyzed over onto Elite, Fist of Fury, over onto Peekaboo, trying to burst him down, but Jamili's bursting down Balance at the same time, already cutting right through that Diffuse Magic and Saved by the Light. He's forced to run back to the pillar here at 22% HP. Kappa trying to pick him back up, but he gets caught into a full fear. Is he going to hold onto his trinket? Touch of Karma still available. Expel Harm going to be used instead, trying to stay alive here. Full sheep now over onto Kappa. They might swap the pressure over onto Jeff. Their entire team kind of split up right now. Paralyzed over onto Jamili to try and stop some incoming sheeps. Really good paralyze, and now he lands the kick on the next incoming polymorph. Really good peels from Balance, breaking up the CC onto Kappa and keeping his team in the game.
It's almost necessary, man. If that CC wasn't broken up, I mean, this is looking bad. He has the Touch of Karma still available to him. Now Balance trying to get aggressive with the double leg sweep onto Elite into the silence out of the paralysis. These guys are connecting onto Peekaboo hard. Going to force that. Wow, he actually comes out of that disperse early. The Save by the Light is going to be procced as well, and catching the execution sentence and wings from Elite is going to keep him okay, but Balance in trouble. No Touch of Karma available to Raisin, actually bubbling to heal him through this. Massive spell coming out from Peekaboo, though. It didn't take the bubble off just yet. Balance should be catching some heals. Now the bubble going down. The Aura Mastery coming out on that silent. Save of the Light being cut through, though, with that Devouring Plague, but Balance is going to stabilize once again. And this is an uphill battle for sure, but Peekaboo has no Disperse available to him. Going to catch the bot from Elite. Elite, though, with both his outs available to him, should be able to keep Peekaboo up through this no problem.
You know, you can never count Donut out. They've got Melman the Giraffe on their side, backing Balance up, supporting him very well, and Balance's pirate transmog is also entertaining me a little bit. He's like a pink princess pirate. We see Paralyzer run Jamili trying to stop that deep sheep, and Balance once again shuts down Jamili. Really well done. Peekaboo goes in for the fear, though. Peekaboo follows up the CC. They need to stop this Polymorph on Kappa. Jamili just trying to get it. We see the Blood Elf silence. Doesn't even look like they really need it. They force the Diffuse Magic regardless. Full leg sweep over onto Peekaboo. Is Kappa going to use the Fist of Justice onto Elite? Doesn't look like he has any time to at the moment. Just trying to keep his team alive here. There are no more defensive cooldowns really remaining for Donut, except for Balance's Trinket. So he's going to have to kite like a god if he wants to survive the next setup. Peekaboo knows that. He's just holding back. They know that they probably have the game here. Maybe there's a technical problem. They're actually just completely pillaring at the moment here. Dispersion not available. I guess that Tempo Storm just don't want to risk it.
I don't think they should, man. I think that they have the advantage moving forward. But I don't know. Here we go. Fear goes out into Raisin. Raisin actually might be the kill target. There's the deep freeze onto him. Whole bunch of damage coming out from Jamili. Can they follow it up with anything? Doesn't look like it. Horrify actually from Peekaboo now to follow that up. Silence out of it, but it looks like there's the Ice Novas. There's the Sableye. There's the Hodge. There's the Trinket. Everything 7% health. He gets locked out by Jamili, and down Raisin goes. Tempo Storm taking game number 1 against the Windwalker DK. There's the dead.
There's the dead.
That I want to take a look at that replay. There was a blink CS that was very flashy coming out from Jamili to get that final nail in the coffin on the Raisin's cast. Wow. I mean, they didn't. The Spurs coming back off a cooldown very, very shortly. They just played it a little bit patient, but they had all the momentum in their favor. And here we go. There's the Horrify in the replay. As you can see, into the silence. These guys just had the follow-up. They had the damage available to them. They just pushed right through it. The wings just wasn't enough for Raisin at that point. The blink CS from Jamili. And there it is. Tempo Storm taking game number 1 of this best-of-5 series in the lower bracket. Whoever loses this series will be eliminated from the tournament. Whoever wins will go on to face the winner of the second series today.
And it's interesting, we saw Holy Paladin God comp kind of dominating the Walking Dead comp for quite a while, and then I believe it was last tournament, Venriki's team was able to take a win against the Holy Paladin God comp and kind of turn it around. And now we see the Holy God comp adapting to those changes, and they've been actually making a lot of Paladin swaps. They know that the Deathknight's like defensives himself are very strong, hard to penetrate through, balance as well. They know that they're always going to be on guard. But as the Holy Paladin on that comp, you don't really expect to be the target. You expect to be a sheep. You don't expect to be dead. Right. So you kind of get caught off guard, and I like that the teams are trying different things out. When they start losing, like in the previous tournament, now they're doing something completely different this tournament, and now it's working for them. So yeah, I like that they're trying that, and I think it works really well for them. Like they can get Kappa's cooldowns or Raisin. His name is Kappa, but he's I don't know why Raisin. But,
I'm gonna change it. I'm gonna change it.
When he uses his defensive cooldowns like Bubble to break CC and heal his partners, then he doesn't have them to stay alive if they swap to him.
Right. You know, speaking of adaptations, I really do like seeing that Donut and some other teams are actually running Horde to get different racials and to get specific advantages against certain compositions. It's really next level stuff, and you gotta shout it out. It's really, really cool. Uh-oh. What happened?
Balance changed his transmog again.
Oh my gosh, he did. What in the world? He looks so good right now, though. He looks like a samurai with crazy weird. He looks like an Einstein samurai. Yeah, he's a mad scientist samurai, and of course he has Melman by his side, the giraffe. He always needs his Melman to give him all the power, all the Windwalker power he needs. Oh, and then he's swapping back, dude. Look, he swapped back to the pink pirate. What the heck? This guy is styling. 4 seconds until these gates open. Tempo Storm up 1-0 against Donut. Can they beat the Windwalker DK again? They got to be feeling kind of confident going into game number 2 here, even on a map like Dalaran Sewers. But here we go. The gates have opened. The triple Nova from Jamili's going to stop them right in their tracks. Polymorph lands out in Raisin. Going to follow it up with a half Polymorph from the Broken. First one into the full Hodge. The Fear Honda Jeff Balance forced to use that defensive cooldown. I don't even know what it's called. It's called Diffuse Magic. That's right. Save the Light also proccing on him. They're swapping the pressure around onto Raisin as well. Raisin's got to be careful with these casts if he gets locked out again. It looks like he's going to be okay with these wings to heal his team through it. Now they're trying to swap the pressure over out on Jamili. He's just going to get life grip back by Peekaboo, and they're going to position themselves very comfortably here in the middle of the map. Peekaboo now looking for a cheeky fear, potentially. Going to get slowed up. And there's the Hodge over out on the Peekaboo into the Fist of Fury as well. Not taking a whole lot of damage, however, through all that. He runs in, gets the double fear out of that, and Balance is just out. He's gone.
He's gone. He's like, you can't touch this. He's even got the Orc Dance, but it doesn't look like Tempo Storm cares. They're just going to swap onto Kappa again, looking to try and get his bubble, maybe an Aura Mastery. They force the Aura Mastery out. Kappa should survive with that, but that was the Shadow Fiend out from Peekaboo. They're actually still pursuing after Kappa. A lot of bursts following it up. He's got to be careful. Double Ice Nova out from Jamili. Ice Lance connects. Kappa forced behind the pillar. He's trying to fake cast that counter spell. He doesn't want a repeat of game number 1. Still not able to fake it just yet. We see some pressure on the Peekaboo, though. Donut reversing this around a bit. Elite spam casting some heals to pick him back up. He does a good job. Defensive Polymorphs over on the Jeff out from Jamili as well. Keep Peekaboo alive. Now they're looking for offense. Jamili actually just going in. Does not care at all. Trying to go for that Blink CS potentially. Didn't land it, though. Peekaboo follows it up with a Fear instead. Who are they going to go after? Looks like Jeff is going to be the target here as he gets silenced up. Down to 30% HP, getting bursted hard. AMS is forced out. Looks like they're going to pause the offense for a second here. Jeff going back to the pillar to try and stay alive here. Fist of Fear out on Peekaboo, and Balance gets a solo disperse.
Dude, he did it in just like a DR Hodge. That was bananas. Crazy. Uh-oh, but Jeff's in trouble. No AMS available to him, and down he goes.
Oh.
Tempo Storm just swapping the pressure over. He's like, yeah, you get disperse. Well, now I got that damage buff, and down you go. Donut losing game number 2 against Tempo Storm, and are just 1 game away from being eliminated here in GCD Pro League lower bracket tournament number 4. But I don't know. What does this Windwalker DK need to do? I feel like they need to play a bit more passively. I feel like they're not going to be able to rush down Tempo Storm. Tempo Storm's just so good at rotating through their defensive cooldowns. They're going to press the buttons they need to press. And as long as they press those buttons, I feel like the current playstyle that they're running is kind of relying on Tempo Storm to make a mistake. I don't know.
Yeah, I know. And it's, I mean, maybe they could play it for a longer game, like a more dampening game, but maybe they're just getting impatient. Maybe they thought they had an opportunity, but then Jeff just kind of overstayed his welcome or something like that. But
in his defense, that was a quick welcome.
Seems pretty crazy. Like whoever is in line of sight, they just instantly turn around. It's like, you dead now.
Yeah,
and that's what
literally
happens. So if everyone isn't like cowering in fear behind the box, like you're just risking the game. So it's a really tough decision. I mean, I would agree. I think at that point that Jeff could have been more defensive, but I think they were just like, oh my god, you got disperse,
right?
Like he wanted to do something like
Yeah.
that. So
Yeah.
maybe they could. I think they could play it slower, but I still don't know if they'll be able to win.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen that slower playstyle come out from some other Windwalker DKs, and it's still a rough ride for sure. Tempo Storm going into game number 3, up 2-0. It's got to be feeling very confident moving forward here into this lower bracket. And Donut up for elimination. They're going to have to pull something out of their hat. I don't know if Melman's going to be enough for them to be able to do just that. They are going up against Tempo Storm, and if they make it through Tempo Storm, they have to face either Method Orange or Splice. So a very hard bracket to make themselves through. Indeed, but I mean that's GCD Pro League for you, man. Some of the best players in North America going head to head here at GCD Pro League every single other week. I was gonna say every single week, but that would be past tense. We no longer do it every week. We do bi-weekly now. But that being said, I do have a slight announcement, a potential announcement, moving forward into the finals of the tournament. So make sure you guys are staying tuned for that. Some super awesome GCD inside scoop. But we're going to be jumping into the last series very, very shortly. You think we're going to see a composition swap? Maybe they'll try the Feral DK Holy Pally? Every time there's like this delay.
Games are fast, but I think the Feral DK games would be even faster.
Yeah.
I don't know if Kappa plays any other classes. I don't think Jeff does. I don't think Balance does either, so they're kind of just stuck with that. But it seems like they do need to, like, if they want to continue playing in the GCD Pro League, I think, like, the best move for them would be to, like, add an alternate class for someone, like maybe a Warlock
Right.
on one of the players or something, and try and adapt that way, because it seems like they just do this every week. Like, they do really well against, like, most of the teams, and then they fight this team or Cloud9, and then it's just like, okay, brick wall, we can't do it.
Yeah, their kryptonite.
Splat, and then
their kryptonite is God Comp, which is Frost Mage, Shadow Priest, Holy Paladin, and Team. And there's a lot of teams that have that in their arsenal. So they definitely, I feel, need something different to mix it up to give them that advantage. But here we go. The game has started. It's Donut versus Tempo Storm. We're on Ruins of Orderon now. This is the home base of Donut. There is no place to hide for Tempo Storm. But I don't know. Do they even want to hide at this point? They're 2-0. They're 2-0 against Donut with this Holy Pally God Comp composition. Jamili, Peekaboo, and Elite. Peekaboo is playing on the Shadow Priest quite a bit. I have to say, it is a pleasure to see Peekaboo. And talking about adaptations in these teams, like adding a different additional compositions to their arsenal, Tempo Storm recently had Peekaboo swap over to that Shadow Priest instead of a Rogue, and they have used it and utilized this comp so very much. So I mean, it definitely
Yeah,
helps these
because
teams be more competitive.
if Peekaboo didn't learn how to play Shadow Priest and they were playing Rogue Mage Druid into Donut right now, I think this series would be 2-0 in the opposite direction.
Right, right.
So it's like it's really important, especially like for these players, and they're like aspiring to do things throughout the year, like BlizzCon and stuff like that. So I think it would be a good move for them. But they're not going to give up. The fight's not over until it's over. Ruins of Lordaeron could be their final resting place, but they're going to sure fight for their lives. Peekaboo sprinting in. Elania actually missing it over on
Wow.
Kappa, so that's going to slow down the CC a little bit early on from Tempo Storm. A bit of a misplay. Balance, though, reluctantly not going to be leaving the tomb like last game. They don't want to be forced into a position that would be bad for them. Paralyze over on a Peekaboo. Are they going to set up off of it? Where's the leg sweep? Doesn't look like they're going to go for it just yet. They do bait the sacrifice, though, from Elite. Good bait from Donut. Early on, holding on to their stuns, waiting for those defensive cooldowns to fade.
Maybe Tempo Storm playing a little cocky. Donut just getting free buttons for nothing. Just kind of just looking at people and getting buttons. I mean, but I really don't blame Tempo Storm for pressing buttons because Windwalker DK is a huge explosive comp. But now Peekaboo lands the double fear on both Balance and on a Raisin. They're going to swap that damage over out on a Kappa here with that Hodge and Orb coming out from into the Horrify now. Raisin might be in a little bit of trouble moving forward. The Devouring Plague to follow up into the Silence. Ore Master going to be used. Wings Execution Sense as well as the Save by the Light going to be used. DR Deep Freeze now DJ Peekaboo taking the damage. The leg sweep comes out. The Hodge over out onto Elite. Peekaboo's got to be careful with these two on top of him. There's the Fist of Fury forcing to disperse, and Donut maybe got down some defensive cooldowns from Raisin, but not really all that much. I feel like Donut at this point is sort of ahead.
Yeah, Elite's going to have to be careful and be sure to bop the next incoming stone, but Peekaboo lands a full fear onto Kappa. Are they going to set up on him? Doesn't look like it. They're going after Balance. Silence Deep Freeze over on a Kappa. Balance forced to use that diffuse magic, reducing all the magic damage coming in onto him by a lot. Now portaling away towards the end of it. That means that Tempo Storm turned the turret over. Now target acquired is Jeff. He's forced to AMS almost immediately, trying to get back to the box with Balance as well here. They could just instantly turn the turret over on a Kappa potentially. Now they can't, unfortunately, using the Frostjaw on the Kappa. The CC will end. Elite's forced to trinket out of that Fist of Justice into a full paralyze. Peekaboo could be in trouble. That Soul Reaper's up. Jeff is doing an immense amount of damage at the moment. Elite's forced to just spam cast. He needs to heal Peekaboo through this incoming damage. Does he have enough healing to deal with it? He gets gripped on his cast. Peekaboo still down below half HP. We see Silence over on the Jeff. Full Fist of Justice over on the Balance. He does get dispelled, though, before the Deep Freeze, which means that he's able to get back to the tomb. Kappa getting a really good dispel. Balance still in full retreat here. He's got that Touch of Karma. He's trying to hold on to it as long as possible. Double Fear. Unfortunately, the Fear didn't connect onto Kappa, and now the CC has ended, and Donut might be able to reverse the pressure here. Full Fist of Justice over onto Elite. They're trying to connect onto Peekaboo, but I don't think they have just enough damage here. Silence over onto Jeff, and now with that pressure fading, it's looking better and better for Tempo Storm, I would think here. Kappa's holding on to a lot of cooldowns. Maybe they can prove me wrong. It's just looking so rough for them to finally connect onto a target.
Yeah, I mean, they connect on the Peekaboo, and they just seem to not get anything done, being forced defensive. As I say that, Donut getting set up on Deep Freeze over out onto Raisin. Polymorph lands. Balance now going into the Hodge, into the Horrify. He's going to trinket out of that. He's going to use the Touch of Karma over out onto Peekaboo. Elite doesn't look like he's going to bop it off. Not yet, it would seem. They're just going to play it safe because Raisin's not out of the CC yet to be even able to heal him through that. Denounce is coming in from Elite. Holy Shaka as well. Balance in trouble. The Touch of Karma now fading. Zen Meditation out of desperation from Balance, trying to heal, trying to survive through all this. Raisin not in any CC just yet, trying to juke counterspell from Jamili. Fist of Fury out on a Peekaboo. He has that disperse. He's just going to press it. He's not going to mess around. He knows the damage from Donut, and he's going to respect the damage and press the button, but it fades, and now Elite trying to heal Peekaboo through this consistent pressure of Balance, and Jeff is going to have a hell of a time, but those wings are sure going to help him out, and Balance has got to be careful without that Touch of Karma for 46 seconds. He's going to pull back behind the tomb for now and just wait a little bit longer, play it patient, and find their next opening to try to get aggressive. Looks like out on the Peekaboo. I mean, they're getting that disperse consistently, but they got to find that opener of CC and damage over out onto Elite to really land that kill onto Peekaboo. And on a map like Ruins of Lordaeron, you definitely can see is giving them some slight of an advantage, but is it going to be enough?
Yeah, we can see Strangulate coming out for Jeff in about 7 seconds, so he's looking to chain that Silence out of the Fist of Justice of Kappa, and if they can get that chain on Elite, I think they forced Aura Mastery earlier, so they might force a Stone Form or a Trinket potentially. We're gonna have to wait and
Look
see
at these
if
guys.
they're gonna wait for that. Maybe they're just waiting for all of their cooldowns. I mean, Touch of Karma's coming out, but it's just gonna be a stalemate. Dispersion still not available for about 54 seconds. I
Is
don't
this
know how
good for Tempo
Balance is
Storm?
jumping. How is Balance jumping like that?
I don't.
You know,
Oh,
no,
it's
wait,
gotta
it
be
was,
like an item, or something.
it was
It's gotta be like a
curious looking
fancy
jump.
item. I don't know, but
Balance tries too hard, man.
dude, balance is the definition of try hard, and I absolutely love it. It's the greatest thing ever. But I don't know if Tempo Storm wants to wait this out. We're about to hit dampening, and with both of these teams kind of stabilizing, getting all their defensive cooldowns back, that might not be a good thing. Peekaboo trinketing out of the leg sweep right away. They're swapping the damage over out on the Raisin. Hodge into the Horrify. Wings execution sentence coming out from the trinket of Raisin, trying to stabilize himself. Going to be stolen from Jamili right away. Peekaboo, though, is taking the pressure. No disperse for 13 more seconds. Hodge over out on Elite, but he catches a big heal before that with the execution sentence. Peekaboo trying to land the massive spell on the Hodge. He's going to get interrupted on it. Dipping down to 30% health here. Now the grip on Elite's cast as well. Elite still has that wings up. You should be able to heal Peekaboo through this, but Donut doing everything in their power to try to interrupt and try to get rid of those casts from Elite. And there's the bop over out on the Touch of Karma on Peekaboo, and Balance is in trouble and on the retreat.
Yeah, he's trying to interrupt this next poly on Jamil. He's going to use the Paralyze to break up the chain, and Balance is always a really good backup, but he's not able to interrupt the follow-up. Balance in full retreat. His last line of defense is that Diffuse Magic, so he's going to want to hold on to that for the next setup here. Horrify available for Peekaboo. He has a Fear as well. Curious if Elite's just going to freedom him in and try and end the game here with that full Fear, or if they're just going to play outside. They're playing outside the box at the moment. Double stun combo up from Donut. A lot of pressure on the Peekaboo. Dispersion answering that almost immediately there. That wasn't even the Pillar of Frost out from Jeff, so Jeff still has a lot of damage available, but here comes another setup onto Balance. He's forced to diffuse magic almost immediately. They're trying to stay offensive here onto Peekaboo. Jeff has that Pillar of Frost. He wants to pop it, but he's silenced up. They're actually swapping over to him. A lot of damage. He's forced to AMS. Kappa trying to pick him back up here. He's going to have to fake cast that counterspell from Jamili, however, and Jamili's holding on to it very patiently. He knows that Kappa has to cast at some point here to save Balance. We see the Zen Meditation, Aura Mastery forced at the same time. Balance will survive this setup. For how much longer? Is Peekaboo going to follow it up and push in here is the question. Jamili's just teeing off on Balance at the moment here. Peekaboo lands the full Fear. Who are they going to go after? Seems like Balance still caught into the Horrify. Kappa's forced to bubble. Will it be enough to survive? They have to survive this setup. They have to go into Peekaboo now. Peekaboo going into that spectral guys, dodging some attacks. Elite actually trinketing out of that Fist of Justice almost immediately. He doesn't want to throw the game for his team here in this setup with no dispersion available for another minute. But Jeff stole the Psychic Scream and threw it right onto Elite. He's trying to connect some damage onto Peekaboo, but now he's exposed himself in the center field. His AMS is going to be forced out, and every time Donut tries to get something done, it just gets slapped in their face and thrown right back at him.
Jeff is in trouble, man. Raisin actually got interrupted. Now he's put into the deep freeze. If they have a followed up for it, surely Jeff will go down. I love that they swapped over to Jeff because Balance's Karma came right back off a cooldown, and now Jeff in a lot of trouble. This is his Pillar of Frost, and he's forced offensive on it. This is when he needs to be in their face. Silence coming out from Peekaboo onto Raisin. Now Jeff and Balance trying to reconnect over out onto Peekaboo here. He has no disperse for 23 seconds. Is this the game? Elite's wings up is surely going to be able to heal Peekaboo through that at 17% dampening, though. This is getting rough. There's the Hodge into the paralysis onto Elite, forcing the bubble. Now Jeff has got to be careful. He has AMS up in just a short second. Silence, though, is going to prevent it and getting him lower and lower. There's the AMS as Raisin's put into the full Fear. Jeff pulling back behind the pillar, and now very shortly Peekaboo's going to have that disperse available to him to trade up for the next aggression of Donut. And both these teams are just surviving and peeling efficiently to be able to rotate through their defensive cooldowns as best they possibly can. But going deeper into dampening, I really don't know who has the advantage. You have the consistent pressure and the burst damage that is Donut, but at the same time the cross CC and the setups from Tempo Storm cannot be avoided. And here we go, Peekaboo looking to get that full Fear. He lands the Fear, Elite. But Elite actually the kill target now. Going to be life grip by Peekaboo at the pillar and Massive Spelled as well. Now Kappa the one in trouble catching the
Kappa,
full Hodge.
no!
Uh-oh, Kappa, he has no bubble, no trinket available to him. Double Ice Nova, deep freeze out of the Horrify. Even the Denounce is coming in. Execution sentence and wings. He's going to cleanse himself, Horrify himself, and down he goes. Donut losing the third game of the match. It's down to, I mean, they tried their very best to take on Tempo Storm, but too little too late as they are going to be eliminated here in the final game of this series. Tempo Storm taking in the game 3-0. That was close, though. There was some opportunity there.
Oh man, both Paladins had no bubble, and Donut wanted to be the people to pull the trigger first, and then Peekaboo just got that life grip, saved him with the life grip, and then Kappa was the one that ended up being exposed. So Tempo Storm just reversing the position around. The Donut trying to play for the long game. Not really able to find many opportunities. Tempo Storm just being unbreakable in that matchup and not dropping a game. So they're looking good moving forward. And I believe upcoming next, we've got